I don't like the look on your face right now. I don't like it.
I've got something to say.
What do you got to say?
I have an announcement.
Okay.
About you.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's not going to be what you think it is. Just relax. Do you know what Theo said to me in the car? Or he said in the car the other day when we were driving to the aquarium? My mom was with us, and he said, Emma, did you know that Auntie Tess has a new family member?
Oh.
And I was like, that is adorable.
So
I feel like he must have heard you say that in one of the videos we got. So I was like, where did he get that from?
Right. Yes.
You have a new family member.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about him.
His name is Connor.
Oh,
His name is Connor Collard Sloan.
yes.
He is the third of two brothers.
Yes.
We have two children, and we've just added a golden retriever puppy.
Is there
to
anything
our
better?
family.
That's like what dreams are made of. A golden retriever
I know,
puppy.
It's so sweet. We were ready. We had lost our chocolate lab of 14 years 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago. And we definitely like grieved for 2 years.
Yes.
And then we just all hit a corner where we were like, I think it's time.
Do you think Phil has blessed this dog coming into the house?
I really do.
Yeah.
We've been saying that. Phil is the chocolate lab who passed. And I think Phil like lined everything up for us perfectly and gave us his blessing.
Oh,
Yes.
I haven't met the con man yet.
No, the con man. That's what I've been calling him. Connor.
He's so beautiful.
He's so adorable. Yes.
What's his personality like? Tell us about him.
You know, he's pretty like excitable because he's a puppy. He kind of fooled me on the first day because he was very chill.
Yeah.
And that was my dream, to have just like a puppy that would lie on the couch with me, eat mini eggs and relax, well,
Yes.
watch me eat mini
Yes.
eggs. But that hasn't really materialized as yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be training him because I call my house the Chill Palace.
Yeah.
So when the boys get in, I'm like, welcome to the Chill Palace. So I've been saying to Connor, this is the Chill Palace.
Yes.
So yeah.
Has he eaten anything? Like a slipper? Well, he was chewing on your rug a little bit
He was
the other
chewing
day.
on my rug.
Yeah.
He's chewed on my slippers.
Oh, he has.
So we're saying no a lot.
Yeah.
It is kind of like having a toddler again, you know?
Is he potty trained? Does he go in the house?
He hasn't gone in the house.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
he's potty trained, but we have to take him out at night. But my oldest son is 12 and has been doing everything so far. So
What a dream.
that is a dream.
Well, you're a step ahead of me because last night, Elle took a shadoobie on the carpet.
Okay, and Al is your daughter.
A human being that lives in my house. I let her have her diaper off
And a
for
shadoobie
5 minutes after her bath, and she took a shit on the carpet.
She
And
just-
then told me about it. So she knew. It was
Right.
intentional.
She
She
just
knew.
squatted down and
Yeah.
let it out. You know?
So the con man's a step ahead of us.
Barely. Yes, barely. Because he's been taken outside to do that kind of stuff
Yes.
on a very regular basis.
Right.
So it's so nice. A new puppy
Oh,
just has
congratulations.
brought life
Yes.
into
Don't
our homes
they?
again.
Does he have puppy breath?
He does have puppy breath. He's actually quite big already.
Yeah.
He's 22 pounds. But he's so beautiful. And I'm thinking that he should be a content pillar in now our social.
Yes,
And,
100%.
you know, he just needs
He's
to...
extremely photogenic.
Extremely photogenic.
Yes.
I need to do a full photo shoot with him this weekend while he's still little.
I know. You've got to capture this time.
Yeah. Yes.
Love that. Okay, my darling.
Okay, well, I'm very relieved because I never know how you're going to open these.
I know you were revealing big truths about me.
I know. We always kind of scare each other at the start of the podcast because one of us has a sly smile. We're going to like drop something big and we never know what it's going to be. So I'm so relieved. It's just the puppy. Oh my God.
It's just a puppy. It's a big deal.
Yes.
This episode is also a big deal because this is our other baby
Yeah.
coming to life. What do you want to say about it?
What a journey. So we've just released.
We have just released. Yeah, it's going to be live probably early next week.
Right.
So by the time this podcast comes out,
We will
this
have released.
product will be available for purchase.
And this is our first product.
Yes.
Like physical product that we're bringing to the market.
our first product. And this was always our dream. Like before we
Yes.
had chapter 2, You know,
Yeah.
when we just had, not just, but we had started 1111, which is a recruitment company. And we were
Yes.
like, how can we create a product? Does it make sense to have stationery, a candle,
Yes.
perfume?
Yes.
We just wanted to create something.
Yes.
I think from a creative aspect, there was just like some kind of need that we were wanting to fill there.
We wanted to create something that we get a lot of value out of, or that we love. And we love stationery, candles, journals. And so this product is a journal, and it's not your average kind of journal.
It's not your average journal. So let's talk about what the journal is. And then this episode today, we want to give you kind of the behind the scenes of what it took to bring a product to life. Because I know there's a lot of people out there who have really good ideas, who have kind of that same yearning or creative outlet that they're looking to pour into a product and might not know the steps to take. So we wanted to kind of share our behind the scenes, the steps that we took to create the product. But first, let's lay the groundwork for what it is, because we're really excited about it.
Okay, so the Chapter 2 journal is a meditation and mindfulness journal, and it's called Your Silent Edge in Business. And so it is not like your average journal. It's a very guided journal. It has a lot of writing prompts. It also has QR codes, 10 QR codes throughout the journal that link to specific guided meditations on different areas professionals encounter in their life or that they need extra support with. And this was really inspired by our careers, our journeys, things that we would turn to meditation for to really increase our performance, essentially.
Exactly. So things like having difficult conversations.
Yes.
Right?
Imposter syndrome. Starting your day with like a really positive mindset or a strong mindset, helping you deal with those stressful, anxiety-ridden days. And I think like what I love about this, like when we think about where did the idea come from? Yes, we wanted to create a beautiful product. And I'm a journaler. I journal like almost every single day. It's like a really supportive practice in my life. And it like helps me process, the world, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And it helps me like be in that creative energy and vibe. And so when we created this, it was half of me somebody who really loves journaling and gets behind it. And then half from you, which is somebody who doesn't naturally know what to write or how to journal.
Exactly.
So we kind of combine those two viewpoints to create this journal. So I think that it's a really impactful piece that meets people where they're at. Like whether your journaling's easy to you, whether you rely on more prompts or you don't really know what to write, like it's all there for you. And then there's a lot of empty space for you to just go for it.
And what we know to be true about journaling is, as a tool, the impacts that it has on your performance, on your mental health.
Yes.
So that was really the catalyst, at least for me, because like you said, I'm not someone who naturally does it.
Right.
So it's something I have to challenge myself, come out of my comfort zone a little bit to do. But what kind of motivated me behind that was, some of the science and the information around how good it is for performance.
Yes.
Right?
So true.
Amazing. And so the other thing I would add around this journal, like you said, there's meditations, there's journaling prompts, there's affirmations, there's science and data in there that supports a lot of these tools, brings some color and light to why they are important, why we've incorporated them into our wellness routine. So there's just so much jam-packed in there. It's really a wellness tool. It's not just a journal, like
exactly.
You were saying.
And I think everything that we do, whether it's a resource we're creating, a podcast, or any work we do, we want it to be tactical, like you can implement this, and we want it to address like the emotional, mental health side of things. And so we fuse those together. So it's not just one or the other, it's both. And, the feedback that we're getting from this journal already is so positive and so people are just saying like the value that they're getting from it and that how it's shifted, like how they're starting their day or how they're approaching a difficult conversation, how they're pitching to a new client or how they're walking into their performance review. And those are, big changes that
Yes.
you make in your life that can really impact the direction you're going.
I have a question.
Hit me.
You said you journal almost every day.
Yes.
Am I in your journal?
Oh my God. Yeah, of course. Of course. Especially because I do so
such an
much
honor.
around like gratitude.
Yes.
So you're like always top of that list, or you're always part of it. Or sometimes it's like something we're working through in the business, or a conversation we've had, or sometimes it's just like when I'm thinking about, so if I'm having a hard day and I'm thinking about like what are my blessings, you know?
Do you have a should-do-be list?
Do I have a should-do-be list? Like I used to have a very active shit list.
Yes.
Where
Very active.
Yeah. When I first started meditation, like
This is
5 or
good.
6
I like
years
this.
ago,
Yeah.
I actually, I had 2 people on my shit list, and I wrote their names on a Post-it note, and I brought it in my meditation. I just held it in my meditation.
Yeah.
Because what I was trying to do was send them fucking light and love.
Yeah. Okay. This is good.
I was trying to tap into like having compassion for these people who had harmed me, you know? And so that was like totally part of my meditation journey, because I was actually able to get to a neutral place around them.
Yes.
Which freed me
Yes.
from then like replaying conversations or spending energy thinking like, you know how sometimes you like play out what you would do if you saw them again and what you would say.
Of course. Yeah.
And I actually had a really interesting thing happen when I think for about 2 weeks I like worked with these names and just tried to get to a neutral place. Like I wasn't trying to like actually send love and light. I was actually just trying to like get to a place of compassion for them where I could neutralize it. So they weren't taking up space in my mind. So that space could be used for the people I love and the people that love me. Right.
Yes.
And so while I worked with them in meditation, one of them reached out to me during that time and to clean things up with me and to apologize.
Wow.
So I actually feel like something was like received.
It's like a
energetically.
visualization, what we were just talking about almost, right?
So I don't know, obviously there's no real science there, but there was something energetically that they picked up on that and it helped me release them.
Yes.
And then just call back that energy to myself. And I think this is a really common thing. A lot of us spend a lot of time rehashing or replaying scenarios where we feel like we've been harmed or misunderstood or judged. And then that actually takes so much of our energy.
So much.
And then we're not thinking about we're taking away from the energy we could be giving to people who, love us and accept us, or energy that could be spent creating something new in business and life, or,
Okay, I have an idea.
Okay.
In our next journal edition, I want a page that at the top says should-do-be list.
The shit list.
The shit list. Okay.
Everyone has 1 or 2 people on their shit list.
But with the intention of releasing, neutralizing, reshifting energy.
And calling that energy back to yourself.
Yes.
And your loved ones.
This is good. We're brainstorming right now.
We're brainstorming. Okay.
Okay, so that is what the journal is. So we actually I wanted to go through the process around the journal.
Take us through that.
And we just talked really about the first point, so where the idea came from. So we had this idea, we've always had this intention around a product, and this was the avenue that we wanted to take. So what was the first step that we took?
So the first step was putting the content together, right? So we started working on the content, the writing, the prompts. We worked with our content marketing manager to help us with the copywriting. We kind of set out the vision for how we wanted people to feel at the end of it, midway through it, at the beginning, and take them on a journey. So first step was content creation, and we just were scrappy with it. We made Google Docs. We started dumping everything in there. We started pulling in like really powerful quotes that we wanted to reference during it.
And I think in some ways, this sounds so obvious, but I also think there's something around just starting, not because where my mind kept going when we were talking about doing a journal is how are we going to produce it? I don't know how to manufacture anything. We have to sell a product. We don't have e-commerce on our site. Like getting 20 steps ahead when what matters most is the content, the quality of what we're offering somebody. Like start there. And like you said, it was scrappy. It was on a Google Doc. It wasn't aesthetically beautiful, but we were putting words to paper, ideas and thoughts.
Do you know what
down.
I'm just remembering? We tried to do this a couple of years ago, and it was going to be around like unlocking your purpose. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And then it didn't go fully, but this time around, we refocused it somewhere else, and everything just kept clicking. But we did have to start, right?
Yes, you just have to start. Okay, so we basically did a huge brain dump of content into a Google Doc. And then once we had that completed, we had our design manager, which we're fortunate to have in-house with us. So she was able to then go through and support us with the copywriting. Exactly. Make it beautiful. So that next step. And then we kind of got into all of those pieces that I was stewing on a little bit at the beginning around manufacturing. So
and I think our our VP of Ops, Crystal, who... Can we just take a moment of gratitude?
God bless her.
She is the best.
Okay, well, don't
if you're a headhunter, cover your ears right now.
Exactly.
Stop headhunting her. She is.
I love that that's what we do. So we know what people are thinking.
Yeah. Hands off.
Yes.
But our VP of Ops, Crystal, she really led that piece of like doing all of the research around manufacturing, pricing, how do we get this to become a physical product, right?
And what I thought that she did that was so smart is through her research, she sourced somebody who produced journals. So they were a local person who had their own small business producing journals. And then she had a side hustle supporting other people that wanted to produce small runs.
And so we knew their product and we loved their product. So we were like, okay, we know the quality is great here.
Yes. So I think Crystal reached out to her to kind of pick her brain a little bit. And she had no idea that she did this as a side hustle. So she actually found an expert, which I'm like, of course, like we do that all the time in our business, right? It's like if we don't know how to optimize our taxes, we hire a tax accountant, right? I'm not sitting there Googling how to do that. So it was kind of the same process with the product, but I let it get too big in my brain. So that was, I think, a really pivotal moment for us to find this person that had been there, done that. Like we don't have to reinvent the wheel in how we're manufacturing a journal.
And I'm just thinking about Crystal's like spreadsheet. There were like maybe 20 different tabs of things she was researching. And I can't even like remember what was on there, but she just thought of everything.
Yes.
Right?
So get yourself a Crystal, but not our Crystal.
But you have to like somebody operationally minded. That's where you can just, or whatever your strength is, whether it's the creative process or the operations process, you'll just need to find a yin to your yang, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So we got that off and running. We lined up our manufacturing, and then we started thinking about how we wanted to market the journal, because we actually did have a particular profile in mind. I feel like maybe we went kind of full circle on that.
Right.
Do you remember that process?
But getting really clear about who this is for. And so for us, it is the professional individual who's, in their career right now. So it could be mid to executive. It's also for the founder, CEO. And we wanted to make it as accessible as possible. But when we are writing it, it's important to have a muse in mind, like who is going to get the biggest bang for their buck from this, right?
Exactly.
And there's always outliers, and we welcome everybody to like trial it, but we made it with this intended purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. So somebody who, is developing, who's growing, who performance matters to them, has an interest in wellness as a whole, right?
Yes. And who really understands, like one of our core beliefs in this journal making process is that we believe that calm, regulated humans are the future of high performance, right? Where the old narrative is you had to be like this like big New Yorker energy, and you're like rushing around the place and you're firing people and you're yelling and you're in a tizzy and you're wherever you are, your phone's going off and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, close the door. Like that's over.
Over, yeah.
It's over. Like, can we just say goodbye, rest in peace? Like it's done. And so we know that leadership it looks a lot different today and is going to continue to evolve into this more regulated place. And so we just know meditation is a huge part of that. Right?
Exactly. Yes. And so we really kept our muse in mind, obviously, throughout the entire process. And then what I think is also really interesting and maybe something we take for granted, I don't even know how to put words to this, but how we made decisions as a team.
Right. So there were 4 of us on this project.
Yes.
It was the 2 founders, our vice president of operations, and then our design and creative person.
Right. And so, I mean, I think we had regular meetings in the calendar.
Yes.
We had really open communication. This was not like, yes, you and I had a vision around this, but we welcomed opinions, thoughts, ideas. We had a really open mind.
Right.
Again, other people have expertise in different areas. We weren't pretending to know everything about the process. So I felt like we had a pretty even playing field in terms of the creation process and our team having input.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
Agreed. Yeah. And so was there any times where we didn't align on a decision during this process?
Just thinking about that. There's one that I can think of around, it seems so silly, but it was it was something around the top of the page.
Right, the spacing.
There was spacing. There's too much space at the top of the page. So I don't remember why. There was a reason. Because
for like doodling or for like writing notes or whatever, we wanted the lines moved up higher.
Yes.
Because for when we were looking at it, aesthetically, it looked better if the lines were up.
Yes.
So we had a moment around that.
And I think, there wasn't like a formula to how we solved it.
But I think just allowing different voices to be heard, right? And like really taking it in, and then we would go away with it and sit with it and look at it again and then come back and make a decision.
Just sitting with it, I think, right? Like it wasn't our vision, but that didn't mean it was wrong.
Exactly.
We needed to sit with it, look at it.
Yes. And so there is like something to be said in like being a bit like when you're working on a project like this, there's an element of like detachment that you have to exercise, and maybe in everything where you are willing to like bring ideas forth and then just let them go wherever they need to go.
Yes.
Right? That's a hard thing to do.
I just saw, I don't know if I think it was on TikTok. This guy is like, every meeting should start like this. Like, hello, welcome to the meeting. Nothing we're going to decide on today is going to save a person's life or kill them.
Right.
So let's just remember that nothing matters that much.
I love that.
And I was like,
we
that's
all get
obviously
so
extreme,
invested,
but
right?
it's true.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just take a minute here. Like we're actually developing a product to elevate people, right?
I'm actually trying to think if there's anything you and I always align on things really quickly, and we kind of have the same like creative vision and eye. But then I'm trying to think, what don't we align on? Like, is there any, sometimes there's little things like the pricing the other day where you were like, let's go at this price. And I was like, I think this price. And so but then I was like, I'm unattached. Like you're leading this client, you choose. I'm not. It's not that much of a delta that I need to go to bat for it.
Yeah.
But I can't really think of anything where we were like head to head.
I think that is kind of our mindset when we are not aligned. It's like we both kind of have a moment where we're like, how much does this matter to me? Do we need to have not an argument, but like a more in-depth conversation around this?
What matters the most is that we're never afraid to say, no, I actually think it's this.
Yes.
We always will air that.
Yes.
And that but there's always, whatever we're doing, one of us is leading more, right?
Yeah.
That one, you were leading that client. And so I just said, I actually don't agree. I think it's this. And you make the call. Like,
yes.
But then I've at least planted something in your head.
Yeah.
And I haven't been afraid to say, here's what I think.
Yeah.
And then you make the call. Because sometimes when you do that to me, it will actually get me to go, okay, yeah, actually, yeah, maybe that is I didn't see it that way, or,
And then if it's not, it's like at least I've said my piece or you've said my piece. And there's no resentment around whatever the
and to be honest, that happened on Monday. I haven't thought about it again. I don't care. But, and I think it's because at least I just said,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Imagine if I was like, I've been stewing on that.
You're like, actually, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
I've been waiting for this to come up again. And let's have it out.
I would love that. Okay, so that's how we make decisions. What's next? Like where do we go from here?
Okay, how we made decisions, how we brought it to life. We also ordered a sample first, which was really important.
Yes.
That was an option. We didn't have to do that. We did an order of 500 for the first run. And they said, do you want a sample? And it was expensive. It was like ridiculously overpriced. Yeah. But we said yes, and that was a really good call because we actually found a few things that we wanted to shift and change, including the cover.
Exactly.
Which is really important.
Yeah.
So highly recommend getting samples.
Samples, yeah. That's a really good call. And then the last piece for us, which we're just kind of in the work of right now because we're getting down to our launch, is like the actual e-com, the back end, how we're selling the journal. We've had our marketing plan in kind of strategy mode for the last few months, and now it's go time.
It's go time.
Yeah.
So we're going to be marketing, selling, and celebrating this journal.
Yes.
Which I'm so excited to continue to hear the feedback, to get into people's hands, and to make a difference in this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so when this releases, it will be available for purchase.
Yes.
On Chapter 2 Meditation. And we will have it linked. It will be front and center.
It'll be front and center. Yes.
And give us your feedback.
We'd love to hear your feedback.
Did
it.
That's it. Congratulations.
Congrats, boo. Love you.
I feel like we should have
some bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray, do you have any bubbles? It's also 11 a.m.
Oh my God.
Which has never stopped us.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a problem.
Okay.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Toodles.
Toodles. Okay, I have to pee.
Is anyone ever going to give us feedback on that?